But I was watching a documentary that was done in 2020 called Phenomenon. I was watching it with my wife late at night, and it was probably 45 or 60 minutes into this documentary. We had air traffic controllers talking about a phenomenon that they occasionally see at their airfields. It's not common, it's rather rare, of these balls of light that seem to zip around the flight lines and be able to defy the known laws of physics incredibly fast. And they were like big orbs of light, orange or yellowish in color. And I paused the film, and I remembered, as odd as that sounds, that I'd seen the exact same thing in high school when I was in the mountains in Arizona. And I told my wife, I said, I've seen this. I know exactly what they're talking about. And she said, no, you haven't. I said, no, I really have. And she says, we've been married for 10 years. You've never mentioned this once. And it's true. I hadn't mentioned it because it was one of those things I'd never understood. It was a very peculiar experience. I was with another girl at the time when I saw this, and so I said, "Look, come with me. We're going to go to Facebook. We're going to go online, and we're going to send a message to this girl I've not reached out to in 20 years, and I'm going to say, hey, remember me? Remember that time we were in the Tucson mountains?" Which is exactly what I did. I said, "Do you remember that thing we saw?" And I didn't say anything else, and she responded back immediately, and I was like, "Hey, be careful. My wife's here with me. I don't want you to embarrass me." And she said, "Yeah, that big freaking ball of light UFO thing that we saw." And my wife was surprised that, in fact, it was just as that documentary Phenomenon had depicted it. And what I shared with my wife thereafter, and had always been puzzled about, was that this ball of light that we saw descending down over our head got close enough for me to look at it and into it, and it seemed to be buzzing with life, but it wasn't man-made. It was very well organized, very spherical, and it seemed to be very conscious of the two of us that were sitting there in the Arizona mountains, like it was observing us. And it was a distinct impression that I had, that I was being watched, observed, that there was a level of interest from the orb to us, and it frightened us. And so we got up and we ran to the car and we ran away, and that thing zipped up and disappeared in the sky.